You've probably noticed it before, but never wanted to say anything. That faint smell that lingers in certain rooms, on certain fabrics, and sometimes even follows certain people. It's not talked about in polite company, but it's real. And if you're a woman over 60, you might be unknowingly creating this exact problem right now through 6 common bathroom habits that quietly destroy your body's natural balance and create persistent odors that no amount of bathing or perfume can fix. Medical experts who specialize in aging and skin health have discovered that more than 80% of women past menopause experience a noticeable change in their personal scent, and the vast majority have no idea why. It's not about being dirty or careless. It's about chemistry, hormones, and daily routines that seem perfectly normal but are actually working against you. In this video, we're going to walk through the 6 bathroom habits that health professionals say are silently contributing to body odor in older women, and we'll show you exactly what to do instead. Stick around because some of these might surprise you, and a few simple changes could make a dramatic difference in how you feel and how you smell. Before we dive into the specific habits, let's take a moment to understand what's actually happening inside your body as you age, because this isn't about blame or shame, it's about biology, and when you understand the science, everything starts to make sense. Your skin is home to roughly 1,000 different species of bacteria that live together in a delicate, balanced ecosystem. When everything is working well, the beneficial bacteria keep the troublemakers in check, and your body maintains a neutral or even pleasant natural scent. These good bacteria produce compounds that actually protect your skin, help it retain moisture, and prevent harmful organisms from taking over. But when that balance gets disrupted, the harmful bacteria multiply rapidly and start producing compounds that smell unpleasant, things like sulfur, ammonia, and other volatile organic compounds that create that distinctive musty or sour odor. And here's the thing, after menopause, your body goes through some significant changes that make it much harder to maintain that delicate balance. Estrogen levels drop dramatically, and estrogen plays a crucial role in maintaining your skin's health and its bacterial ecosystem. When estrogen declines, several things happen all at once. Your skin becomes thinner and more fragile, which makes it easier for bacteria to penetrate and multiply. Your sweat glands become more active and less regulated, which is why so many women experience hot flashes and night sweats. The chemical composition of your sweat actually changes, becoming more acidic and carrying a sharper, more noticeable odor. Your skin's pH level shifts, becoming less acidic, and that creates an environment where odor-causing bacteria thrive more easily. And your skin produces less natural oil, which means it dries out more quickly and sheds dead cells at a faster rate, providing even more food for bacteria. At the same time, many older women experience subtle changes in bladder control, digestion, flexibility, and even vision, all of which can contribute to hygiene challenges that weren't there before. The vaginal and vulval tissues also become less acidic and more vulnerable to irritation and infection, creating another potential source of odor. None of this means you're doing anything wrong or that you're not taking care of yourself. It just means you need a slightly different approach than you did 20 or 30 years ago, one that works with your body's new reality instead of fighting against it. Let's start with one of the most overlooked problems, and that's not changing your washcloths and towels often enough. That washcloth hanging on your towel bar right now, the one you used this morning and maybe yesterday morning too, could be harboring millions of bacteria, far more than you'd find on most toilet seats. Research on household hygiene has shown that older adults, especially women, tend to use the same washcloth for several days in a row, thinking it's still clean because it's only touching their freshly washed skin. The reasoning makes sense on the surface. You just showered, you're clean, so the washcloth should stay clean too, right? But here's what actually happens, and it's a bit unsettling when you realize it. Every time you use that washcloth, it picks up dead skin cells, oils, sweat, and bacteria from your body. Even freshly washed skin is covered in bacteria. That's normal and healthy. But when those bacteria transfer to the damp washcloth, they find themselves in paradise. Your bathroom is warm and humid, providing the perfect breeding ground. Within just a few hours of hanging there, the bacterial population on that washcloth doubles. By the next day, it's in the millions. By the third or fourth day, you're essentially wiping yourself down with a bacterial sponge that's depositing far more organisms onto your skin than it's removing. And because older skin sheds cells more rapidly while producing less protective oil, it becomes an even better breeding ground for the kinds of bacteria that produce strong, unpleasant odors. These bacteria, with names like Corynebacterium and Staphylococcus epidermidis, break down the oils and proteins on your skin and washcloth, producing volatile organic compounds that create that distinctive musty, sour smell that many people incorrectly associate with aging itself. It's not age causing the odor, it's the bacterial overgrowth from reusing contaminated washcloths and towels. The same principle applies to bath towels. If you're using the same towel for a week or more, especially if it's not drying completely between uses because it's bunched up on a hook or folded over a bar, you're giving bacteria and even mold the perfect environment to thrive and multiply. Every time you dry yourself with that towel, you're transferring those organisms back onto your freshly cleaned skin, undoing much of the benefit of your shower. The solution is straightforward, but requires a shift in routine and mindset. Use a fresh washcloth every single day, without exception. This is non-negotiable if you want to break the cycle of bacterial overgrowth. Wash them in water that's at least 140 degrees Fahrenheit, with a cup of white vinegar added to the wash cycle. The hot water kills most bacteria, and vinegar is a natural disinfectant that eliminates the organism's regular detergent leaves behind. Plus, it helps remove any lingering odors from the fabric itself. For towels, the recommendation is to use them no more than 3 times before washing, and that's only if they're drying completely between uses. Make sure your towels are spread out fully on a bar to dry, not bunched up on a hook where moisture gets trapped in the folds. Bacteria and mold can't multiply effectively on truly dry fabric, so proper drying between uses makes a significant difference. If you live in a humid climate, or your bathroom doesn't have good ventilation, you might need to change towels even more frequently, or consider using a fan to help them dry faster. Some women find it helpful to invest in antimicrobial treated washcloths and towels specifically designed for sensitive or aging skin. These provide an extra layer of protection against bacterial growth. However, even these should still be changed daily for washcloths and every 3 uses maximum for towels, because no antimicrobial treatment is 100% effective against the diverse bacterial ecosystem that develops in bathroom textiles. Next, let's talk about something many women don't realize is a problem, and that's using heavily scented soaps, lotions, body washes, and other personal care products to try to smell better. Walk into any drugstore or supermarket, and you'll see shelves absolutely packed with floral soaps, lavender body washes, powder-scented deodorants, and perfumed lotions that all promise to keep you smelling fresh, clean, and feminine all day long. The marketing is incredibly persuasive, with images of flowers, fresh laundry, and confident women who supposedly use these products. It all seems perfectly logical. If you want to smell good, use products that smell good, right? But research into skin health, bacterial ecosystems, and dermatology has revealed something surprising and counterintuitive. These heavily scented products often make the odor problem significantly worse, especially for older women whose skin is already dealing with hormonal changes and bacterial imbalances. Your skin hosts that complex ecosystem of bacteria we talked about, roughly 1,000 different species working together in a delicate balance. When you bombard them with harsh chemicals and artificial fragrances, you're essentially committing bacterial genocide. You're wiping out huge populations of beneficial bacteria that help protect your skin, regulate moisture, and keep harmful bacteria in check. The problem is that these good bacteria are often more sensitive to harsh chemicals than the bad bacteria are. So what happens is the fragrance and chemicals kill off your protective bacteria while leaving the odor-causing troublemakers to flourish and take over. It's like using a pesticide in a garden that kills all the helpful insects but lets the pests thrive and multiply unchecked. Within days, your skin's bacterial balance shifts dramatically in the wrong direction. Synthetic fragrances don't actually eliminate odor at the source. They just temporarily mask it by covering it up with a stronger, more pleasant smell. But underneath that floral or powdery scent, the underlying bacterial imbalance is getting worse and worse. And here's something even more troubling. Studies have shown that some of the fragrance chemicals commonly used in personal care products, things like phthalates and synthetic musks, actually feed certain types of bacteria, providing them with a growth stimulant that causes their populations to explode within hours of application. You're literally giving the odor-causing bacteria extra food and then wondering why the smell keeps getting worse no matter how much scented product you use. The fix requires a complete mindset shift, and it might feel uncomfortable at first, but the results speak for themselves. Switch to fragrance-free, pH-balanced cleansers that are specifically designed for mature or sensitive skin. Look for products that contain gentle acids like lactic acid or mandelic acid, which help maintain your skin's natural acid mantle without disrupting the beneficial bacteria that live there. These acids actually create an environment where good bacteria thrive and bad bacteria struggle, which is exactly what you want. You might worry that unscented products won't make you smell nice, that you'll smell like nothing or even smell bad without artificial fragrance covering you up. But the truth is quite the opposite. When your skin's bacterial balance is healthy and properly maintained, you naturally smell neutral or even pleasant without any added fragrance. Your body produces its own subtle scent that's neither offensive nor overpowering. It's just you. Give your skin a few weeks to rebalance after you stop using scented products, and you'll likely notice a significant improvement in how you smell naturally. The key is to look for products labeled as microbiome friendly or pH balanced for mature skin, and resist the urge to add fragrance through lotions, powders, perfumes, or body sprays, which only compound the problem. Instead of masking odors with chemicals, focus on supporting your skin's natural bacterial balance with products that contain prebiotics like inulin or beta-glucan. These ingredients feed the beneficial bacteria on your skin and help them crowd out the odor-causing varieties naturally, creating a healthier, more balanced ecosystem that doesn't produce unpleasant smells in the first place. Now let's address a habit that many women don't even think about as being related to body odor, and that's sitting on the toilet for too long, especially when dealing with constipation or waiting for a bowel movement to happen. If you find yourself sitting there for 15, 20, or even 30 minutes, maybe scrolling through your phone, reading the news, or just waiting patiently for things to happen, you're creating a cascade of problems that goes far beyond simple discomfort and actually contributes significantly to persistent odor issues. Prolonged sitting on the toilet puts tremendous pressure on the blood vessels and muscles in your pelvic floor, which are already weakened and stretched by age, gravity, decades of standing and walking, and for many women, childbirth. This sustained pressure causes blood to pool in the hemorrhoidal veins, which can lead to hemorrhoids that bleed, itch, and create openings in the skin where bacteria can enter. But even if you don't develop full hemorrhoids, the pressure creates microscopic tears and irritation in the delicate skin around the anal area. Those tiny tears, invisible to the naked eye, become perfect breeding grounds for bacteria, particularly the kinds that produce strong ammonia-like smells. The straining that often accompanies constipation in older women makes things even worse. When you strain hard trying to force a bowel movement, you're creating intense pressure that forces bacteria from the intestinal tract into areas where they shouldn't be, including the skin folds around the anus, the vaginal canal, and even the urethral opening. This bacterial translocation, as medical professionals call it, can persist for days after a single episode of severe straining, creating infections and persistent odors that are very difficult to eliminate even with thorough washing. Research has shown that women who regularly spend more than 10 minutes on the toilet have dramatically higher concentrations of odor-causing bacteria in the perineal region, the area between the vagina and anus, compared to those who limit their time to 5 minutes or less. The combination of pressure-induced tissue damage, bacterial migration from the intestines, and the warm, moist environment created by prolonged sitting creates perfect conditions for something called biofilm formation. Biofilms are essentially bacterial communities that stick to skin and mucous membranes, forming a protective layer that resists normal washing and allows the bacteria to thrive for extended periods. The solution starts with addressing the root cause of constipation rather than just sitting there hoping it resolves itself. Increase your fiber intake gradually and consistently, aiming for 25 to 30 grams per day from natural sources like vegetables, especially leafy greens and cruciferous vegetables, fruits with the skin on, whole grains like oats and brown rice, and seeds like chia, flax, and psyllium husk. But fiber alone isn't enough. You also need adequate water intake, at least 64 ounces throughout the day, because fiber without water actually makes constipation worse rather than better. Consider using a toilet stool, one of those small platforms that elevates your feet when you're sitting on the toilet and puts you in a more natural squatting position. Studies have shown this simple change reduces straining by as much as 65% and cuts average toilet time by more than half. The squatting position aligns your rectum properly and makes elimination much easier and more complete without the need for prolonged sitting or straining. Taking a daily probiotic supplement containing specific strains like Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus can also help regulate bowel movements naturally by improving your gut's bacterial balance and promoting more regular, easier elimination. But perhaps the most important change, and the one that requires real discipline, is setting a 5-minute timer when you sit down on the toilet and standing up when that timer goes off, even if you haven't had a bowel movement yet. It's far better to try again later, perhaps after walking around or drinking some water, than to sit there straining and creating the bacterial colonization and tissue damage that comes from prolonged sitting. Here's another habit that almost no one talks about openly, but makes a huge difference in body odor, and that's improper wiping technique and inadequate cleaning after using the bathroom. This is an uncomfortable topic, and many women feel embarrassed even thinking about it, but it's absolutely crucial to understand. The way you've been wiping after using the bathroom for your entire life might actually be spreading bacteria around and creating odor problems that no amount of showering or bathing can fix. Research on hygiene practices in older women has found that a significant percentage, more than 3/4 in some studies, are using techniques that leave behind microscopic amounts of fecal matter and urine residue. You can't see it, you might not even be aware it's there, but those tiny amounts become breeding grounds for billions of bacteria within just a few hours. The most obvious and well-known mistake is wiping back to front, which drags intestinal bacteria forward toward the vaginal and urethral openings, dramatically increasing the risk of urinary tract infections and vaginal infections, while also spreading odor-causing bacteria to areas where they create persistent smell problems. But even women who know to wipe front to back, which is the correct direction, often don't realize they're not reaching all the areas effectively because of age-related changes in flexibility, arthritis in the hands and wrists that limits dexterity, reduced range of motion in the shoulders and arms, or decreased visual acuity that makes it harder to see what you're doing. These limitations aren't anyone's fault. They're a natural part of aging, but they do have real consequences for hygiene and odor control. Studies using specialized bacterial imaging techniques have revealed that standard toilet paper alone, even with proper wiping technique, leaves behind approximately 30% of fecal bacteria. And this percentage jumps dramatically, sometimes to over 50%, in women who have limited range of motion, hand strength issues, or difficulty reaching around their body effectively. These residual bacteria don't just sit there harmlessly. They multiply exponentially in the warm, moist environment inside your underwear, producing sulfur compounds, ammonia, and other volatile chemicals that create that distinctive unwashed smell that many people incorrectly associate with aging itself. The problem is compounded by the fact that older women often have redundant skin folds, changes in body composition and fat distribution, and tissue laxity that creates hidden areas where bacteria can thrive undetected. Researchers call these cryptic contamination zones, pockets and folds that standard wiping simply can't reach effectively, but where bacteria flourish and produce odors that seem to come from nowhere. The solution involves adopting what geriatric hygiene experts call the complete clean protocol. This multi-step approach ensures thorough cleaning while being gentle on delicate aging tissues. Start by using toilet paper for the initial cleaning, wiping from front to back with a fresh section of paper for each pass. Then follow up with a moistened wipe specifically designed for sensitive skin. Look for wipes that contain soothing ingredients like aloe vera and vitamin E, but absolutely no alcohol or fragrances, both of which can irritate delicate tissues and actually make odor worse by disrupting the skin's bacterial balance. Use a gentle patting or dabbing motion rather than aggressive rubbing, which can create irritation and microscopic tears in the skin. Finish with a clean, dry tissue or paper to make sure no moisture remains, because moisture promotes bacterial and yeast growth even after thorough cleaning. Always wipe from front to back, never the reverse, and continue until the paper or wipe comes away completely clean with no visible residue. If that takes 8 or 10 wipes, then that's what it takes, because leaving even a small amount of residue behind guarantees bacterial overgrowth and odor within hours. For women with mobility limitations, arthritis, or other conditions that make thorough wiping difficult, investing in a bidet attachment for your toilet or a long-handled wiping aid can be genuinely life-changing. Studies have shown that bidet users have up to 75% less perineal bacteria than those who rely on toilet paper alone, and many women report feeling noticeably cleaner and fresher throughout the day. Modern bidet attachments are affordable, easy to install, and can make an enormous difference in hygiene and odor control for older women who struggle with traditional wiping. Let's talk about underwear now, because this is where many women are unknowingly creating a perfect bacterial breeding ground that contributes massively to persistent body odor. That pair of underwear you put on this morning might have seemed fresh and clean when you pulled it out of the drawer, but within just 4 hours of wear, research shows it already contains thousands of bacteria per square centimeter. By the end of a typical 12-hour day, that number explodes into the tens of millions of organisms, all of them producing a cocktail of odorous compounds as they feed on sweat, vaginal discharge, tiny amounts of urine, and the shed skin cells that accumulate in the fabric. Studies using advanced DNA sequencing technology have revealed that older women's underwear harbors a particularly aggressive mix of bacteria, including species with names like Gardnerella vaginalis, Prevotella, and various anaerobic bacteria that thrive in low-oxygen environments and produce the fishy, ammonia-like odors that become increasingly difficult to wash out of fabric over time. The problem isn't just wearing underwear throughout the day. That's normal and expected. The real issue is the common practice among many women of wearing the same pair of underwear for multiple days in a row when it looks clean, not realizing that bacteria are completely invisible to the naked eye and that age-related changes in vaginal discharge and bladder control create constant moisture that accelerates bacterial growth exponentially. Even women who don't think they have any bladder leakage often have tiny amounts of urine residue, just a few drops, that accumulate in underwear throughout the day. And those few drops create a nitrogen-rich environment that certain bacteria absolutely love, turning your underwear into what researchers grimly call portable petri dishes that continuously reinfect you with odor-causing organisms every single day you wear them. The type of fabric matters enormously too. Synthetic materials like nylon, polyester, and spandex, which many older women choose because they're smooth, provide shaping or control, and don't wrinkle, are actually the worst possible choice for odor control. These fabrics trap moisture and heat against your skin while preventing proper air circulation, creating what microbiologists call an incubator effect. Studies have shown that synthetic underwear can increase bacterial populations by as much as 500% compared to natural fibers like cotton, creating a dramatically stronger odor problem. The type of laundry detergent you use and the washing temperature also play crucial roles that most women don't consider. Standard cold water washing only removes about 60% of bacteria from fabric, leaving millions of organisms alive and ready to multiply as soon as you put the underwear back on. And fabric softeners, which many women use to keep their clothes feeling soft and comfortable, actually create a waxy coating on the fabric that traps bacteria and odors permanently, making them almost impossible to wash out no matter how many times you launder them. The solution requires what experts call a total underwear overhaul, and while it might seem extreme, the impact on odor control is dramatic and almost immediate. Start by replacing your entire underwear drawer with 100% cotton underwear, or alternatively, moisture-wicking bamboo fabric underwear, both of which allow proper air circulation and don't trap moisture against your skin. Choose styles that provide adequate coverage without being overly tight or restrictive. Change your underwear at least twice daily, once at midday if possible and definitely again before bed, and immediately after any episode of incontinence or bladder leakage, no matter how minor. Even a few drops of urine can trigger massive bacterial growth within an hour or two, so don't wait until later to change. When washing underwear, always use hot water, at least 140 degrees Fahrenheit, with an enzyme-based detergent specifically designed to break down biological matter like proteins and oils. Add half a cup of baking soda to the wash cycle to neutralize odors at the molecular level, and add a quarter cup of white vinegar to the rinse cycle to kill any remaining bacteria that survived the detergent and hot water. Never use fabric softener on underwear, as it creates that coating we talked about that traps bacteria and odors. Most importantly, never wear the same pair of underwear for more than 12 consecutive hours, and seriously consider going without underwear at night while you sleep to allow the genital area to completely air out and dry. Studies have shown this practice reduces bacterial populations by up to 80% compared to wearing underwear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, giving your skin the chance to breathe and reset its bacterial balance naturally. Now we come to the number one habit, the one that almost every older woman does, believing wholeheartedly that it keeps them clean, fresh, and hygienic, but it actually creates the worst possible bacterial environment and the strongest, most persistent odors imaginable. And that habit is overwashing and using harsh soaps, particularly on the genital area. This seems completely counterintuitive, almost backwards, but extensive research has proven beyond any doubt that women who wash their genital area more than once daily with soap have dramatically more odor-causing bacteria, sometimes 10 to 12 times more, than those who use plain water. Here's why this happens, and once you understand the science, it makes perfect sense. The vagina is a self-cleaning organ designed by evolution to maintain itself without any external intervention. It has a carefully controlled pH between 3.8 and 4.5, maintained by populations of beneficial lactobacillus bacteria that produce lactic acid. This acidic environment creates a chemical barrier that's hostile to harmful bacteria, yeast, and other pathogens that would otherwise cause infections and produce foul odors. But when you use soap, especially antibacterial soap, you dramatically raise that pH to neutral or even alkaline levels, typically around 7 or 8 on the pH scale. And that's exactly where pathogenic bacteria flourish and multiply completely unchecked, because you've destroyed the acidic environment that normally keeps them under control. Studies using advanced microbiome sequencing technology have shown that within just 3 days of daily soap use on the genital area, the vaginal microbiome undergoes a dramatic shift from being dominated by protective lactobacillus species to being overrun by anaerobic bacteria with threatening names like Mobiloncus, Bacteroides, and Peptostreptococcus. These bacteria produce volatile sulfur compounds, specifically things like hydrogen sulfide and methanethiol, which are literally the same chemicals that make rotting organic matter, decomposing flesh, and sewage smell so absolutely terrible. That's not an exaggeration or metaphor. It's the actual chemistry of what's happening when you overwash with soap. What makes this particularly devastating for women over 60 is that estrogen decline has already reduced natural lactobacillus populations by as much as 90% compared to premenopausal levels. So when you add harsh washing with soap on top of that hormonal change, you're essentially eliminating your body's last remaining natural defense against odor-causing organisms. You're stripping away the final protective barrier and leaving your tissue completely vulnerable to bacterial overgrowth. The research has been truly eye-opening. Women who douche or use feminine hygiene washes, those special products marketed specifically for vaginal cleansing, have been found to have bacterial counts up to 100 times higher than women who use plain water only. And the bacteria aren't just sitting on the surface where you could theoretically wash them away. They formed biofilms, organized communities of bacteria that adhere to tissue, penetrate into the deeper layers of skin, and resist washing, antibiotics, and almost any intervention you can try. Even more alarming and frustrating, researchers have discovered that overwashing triggers a stress response in bacteria, a survival mechanism that causes them to produce even more odorous compounds as a way of protecting themselves and communicating with other bacteria. This creates a truly vicious cycle where the worse the smell gets, the more frantically you wash, which makes the bacterial imbalance even worse, which produces an even stronger smell, which drives you to wash even more aggressively. Many women get trapped in this cycle for years, becoming increasingly distressed and isolated, never realizing that the very thing they're doing to fix the problem is actually the root cause of it. The proper approach, according to every gynecologist, dermatologist, and microbiome expert who has studied this issue, is elegantly simple, but requires real discipline and a willingness to go against decades of marketing and cultural conditioning. Wash the external genital area once daily with plain, warm water only, using your clean hand rather than a washcloth, which can harbor bacteria and be too abrasive for sensitive tissue. Let the water run over the area naturally, gently separating the folds to ensure all surfaces are rinsed, but don't scrub or use any soap at all. If you absolutely must use a cleanser because plain water feels psychologically insufficient, and many women do feel this way initially, it should be a product specifically formulated for intimate care with a pH between 4 and 4.5, containing no soap, no sulfates, no fragrances, and no harsh chemicals. And even then, it should be used no more than 3 times per week maximum on external areas only. The vagina itself, the internal canal, should never be washed with anything. No douching, no soap, no feminine washes, no vinegar, no baking soda, nothing. Just let warm water run over the external opening during your shower, and that is absolutely all that's needed for optimal health and odor control. After washing, pat the entire area completely dry with a clean towel, paying special attention to all the folds and creases where moisture can hide. Consider using a hairdryer on the cool or low setting to ensure no moisture remains, because even small amounts of trapped moisture combined with the bacterial disruption from overwashing creates the perfect storm for explosive bacterial growth and severe odor that becomes increasingly difficult to reverse the longer it continues. It might take 2 to 3 weeks for your body's natural bacterial balance to fully restore itself after you stop overwashing. And during that transition period, you might even notice the odor seems worse before it gets better. That's because the pathogenic bacteria are dying off and being replaced by beneficial species, a process that temporarily releases odors. But stick with it. Within a month, most women report a dramatic improvement, often describing feeling cleaner and fresher than they have in years despite washing less. These 6 bathroom habits might seem like small, insignificant parts of your daily routine, things you've been doing automatically for decades without giving them much thought. But together, they create a perfect storm of bacterial overgrowth, tissue damage, pH disruption, and persistent odors that affect not just how you smell, but your confidence, your comfort, your willingness to be close to others, and ultimately, your quality of life. The encouraging news, the genuinely hopeful message here, is that by making these adjustments, using fresh washcloths daily, switching to unscented pH-balanced products, limiting toilet time, and addressing constipation through fiber and hydration, improving wiping technique or using a bidet, changing underwear twice daily, and choosing natural breathable fabrics, and most importantly, washing gently with plain water instead of harsh soaps, you can dramatically reduce odor-causing bacteria and restore your body's natural balance within just a few weeks. This isn't about being cleaner in the traditional sense, or scrubbing harder, or using more products. It's about working with your body's natural systems, supporting them instead of fighting against them, and respecting the biological changes that come with age. Your body knows how to maintain itself when given the right conditions. Your job is simply to stop accidentally sabotaging those natural processes and start creating an environment where beneficial bacteria can thrive and harmful bacteria can't. If you found this information helpful and you think it might help someone else who's been quietly dealing with this issue, someone who's too embarrassed to talk about it but desperate for answers, please share this video with them. Body odor after menopause is incredibly common, affecting the vast majority of women, but it's rarely discussed openly because of shame and stigma. We need to change that conversation and help women understand that this is a solvable problem, not an inevitable part of aging. And if you have questions, experiences you'd like to share, or strategies that worked for you, leave a comment below. Creating a supportive community where women can talk openly about these issues without judgment is just as important as sharing the practical solutions. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, you deserve to feel comfortable and confident in your own body at every age.